Guys of Reddit, what did your girlfriend's dad do to establish dominance? Story 1. Watching a movie with my girlfriend. I'm wearing an Alabama hoodie and he saw it. We were in the basement and she got a text from him which was a picture of a bed with all Alabama covers, pillows, etc. with the caption, "When you're ready for a sexy night with your cousin." I took the hoodie off and left in shame afterwards. Story 2. Shook my hand real firm and asked, "Hello, are you fucking my daughter in your apartment?" No introduction, wouldn't let it go without an answer. I'm really tall and he's a really short, stocky wrestler. 14 years later, still together. Edit. It was suggested that I put my answer here, so I will. Answer below. I believe she interrupted with, "Dad," and we kept a firm grip. We locked eyes, silence for a few seconds, and I said, "Pleased to meet you, sir." He said nothing. I knew that he knew. We both knew. Just answer the question. It's been 14 years, and I'm sure your hands are killing you. Story 3. I flew overseas to meet my wife's family and ask for her hand in marriage. Made reservations at one of the fancier restaurants in town and asked him to meet me there for a talk. Should add that I was unemployed and completely broke. He pulls up in a BMW, tires screeching, and tells me to get in. I protest that we have reservations, and he says to forget about them. He takes me to a really simple coffee shop, says that I don't need to impress him with fancy shit. I tell him that I love his daughter and that I will always make sure that she is happy. He just looks at me for a long time, not saying anything really. Finally, he says, "I don't know you, but I know my daughter, and she's really smart. So many guys wanted to marry her, and she turned them down. If she sees something in you, then I'm all for it." We shook hands, and then we drove to the supermarket so I could help him haul a shit ton of groceries. My wife and I have been married for 15 years, and he's always been a complete gentleman to me. Even though I showed up in his city completely broke and jobless, living under his roof and ate his food, he never once made me feel that he was doing me some kind of favor or that I was anyone but a valued member of the family. And this despite the fact that he has a nasty temper and never holds his tongue with anyone else. I worked my ass off and got back on my feet, and my wife made big leaps in her career as well, and eventually we moved back to the States. He continues to be my ideal of what a real man should be. I hope to treat my own daughter's husband as well as he treated me. It was all a trick to help you carry the groceries. Bet you feel pretty stupid now. Story 4. Haven't even exchanged names yet. The guy puts his finger on my chest. I look down and, of course, flips it up into my face, laughs so hard. I was not expecting that, but it's just who this guy is. Story 5. Clammed up, basically acted as if I wasn't there, and if I did talk to him, I got single-word answers. This is an actual conversation when I was stuck in a car with him. "What do you do?" "Sales." Been doing that a long time?" "Yes." "How many years?" 30. "Retiring soon?" "Yep." "What are you planning to do when you retire?" "Florida." "Where in Florida?" "West." "So, like Tampa?" "Yeah." My girlfriend gets a text the next day from him saying I'm a great guy and he's happy she's dating me. Story 6. I live in Langley, Virginia. The other thing that lives in Langley is the CIA. A girl I asked out in my freshman year of high school had her dad drive us to the mall. No biggie, I'm a fairly confident person, and there isn't much of a plan to fool around at the mall. All part of his plan, I'm sure. Anyway, we get into his pickup truck, and I'm in the back. Dude's wearing a Navy dress-up blue uniform. I see he's a petty officer. I know the insignia because I was a Sea Cadet. I'm idly curious, and I want to make small talk, so the dude likes me. So I check out his other insignia when he turns around and talks to me. Red chevrons and a trident. Dude was a fucking Navy SEAL. Never mentioned it, but you could tell. He knew I knew. Subtle, yet effective. I give this boyfriend scaring method an A+. Story 7. He sat on the couch and watched those remodeling shows on HDTV while eating bags of candy. Story 8. My father just happened to be cleaning his guns and trying out his bore sight when I brought my boyfriend home the first time. A table full of rifles and shotguns. My boyfriend's reaction was, "Oh, neat," and they talked about the guns for an hour. They went out without me to a blacksmithing festival recently. I think all I did was bring home a friend for my dad. Edit. Bonus fact. They are going to make a forge together out of leaf blowers and an old water heater tank in the backyard. Story 9. I was 17 at the time and was really into his 16-year-old daughter. He sat me down at his kitchen table for what I thought would be a talk. Instead, he pulls out a length of rope and demonstrates step by step how to tie a proper noose for hanging someone. Story 10. My father-in-law held some title for a state boxing champ in his home state back in the day. The first time we drove over to see him, he was drunk and had a huge cut across the bridge of his nose. Apparently, he had beat the shit out of 3 20-something-year-old bullies the night before when they decided to jump him at the bar. His 70-something-year-old dad was mugged in his own home one time. My father-in-law found the guy who did it, followed him inside his house, and broke his knees and elbows. Then, he proceeded to beat the shit out of the guy to the point of brain damage. In his words, if they can't talk, they can't identify you. Dude is chill as fuck every time I'm around and thanks me every time I see him for getting his daughter out of the hellhole they lived in. But I know for a fact, if I ever break her heart, he'd fucking bury me. If I ever leave, it'll have to be the country. Story 11. Literally none of the girls I dated had dads, either by death or by divorce. I wonder what that says about me. You killed their dads? There can be only one. Story 12. My ex-father-in-law never did anything to really establish dominance. He shook my hand and looked at me and asked how I was doing. About 7 months later, when she was my girlfriend, we went and I told him and her mom that she was pregnant, but he had already started saving extra money and had planned for when the baby was born. This was in 2002. He once again shook my hand and thanked me for actually being a real man. Eventually, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we moved in with him so we could keep a better eye on him. I ended up with not only a father figure like my grandfather, but a best friend. We did everything together and had a lot of fun. We'd pick on each other so much it would easily get out of hand, much to the rolling eyes of our respective wives. He went missing a couple of times, went for a walk and got turned around, and then went for a drive and got lost. I was terrified but kept my composure and didn't stop looking until we found him hours later. He was a stereotypical Texan with a lot of guns, cowboy boots and hats, but with a heart the size of Texas itself to match. Fun fact, when his daughter, my wife, ended up cheating on me, which led to a separation and divorce, she thought it was okay to bring a new guy around a couple months after our daughter and I moved back near my family. He excused himself and came back with one of his shotguns and simply proclaimed, "You're not Nemesis." And the guy actually pissed himself. She told me about it later on the phone, cracking up, and he said, "I'm not as far gone as they think sometimes." And he told me that I will forever be his son. I miss that Texan bastard. Story 13. Found out he was a high-ranking official for the Secret Service in Poland during the Soviet era. He doesn't have to do anything more to terrify me. Edit, I married her. Best decision I ever made. She's much prettier than I am. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch our YouTube video. If you find our content helpful and enjoyable, please click the subscribe button to stay updated on any new videos we share in the future. Thank you once again, and we hope to see you in our next upcoming videos.